What first got you excited about blockchains? Think about it. Oh wait, I bet it wasn't multi-million-dollar hacks, exposed data, or finding somewhere safe to store your seed phrase. Was it? Maybe it was the idea of decentralizing a broken financial system. Maybe it was imagining a world where people own their own data and get to sharing the value it creates. Or maybe it was the promise of a fundamentally better way of connecting, communicating, and transacting. The next phase of the internet that empowers us instead of exploiting us. So why hasn't that happened yet? Why are we still living with the same broken system that blockchains promise to fix? It's because blockchains can't keep a secret. Enabling open, transparent systems was only the first half of the challenge. For blockchains to really change the world, they also have to be able to protect our sensitive data when it matters. And that's why we built Midnight, to bring down the final barrier to mass adoption and unlock the full potential of the decentralized web. Let's build the internet we deserve, together.
Ladies and gentlemen, we all know this in crypto. Ownership matters. That's why Cake Wallet. Cake Wallet gives you full control of your digital assets, all in one easy-to-use application. You can store Bitcoin, Litecoin, Zcash, Monero, and many more with just one secure backup. Swap between coins in seconds. No copying addresses, no complicated steps, and even includes Bitcoin Lightning for faster payments. And with Cake Wallet built in, you can use crypto in real life through debit cards or gift cards. Simple, secure, self-custody. Download Cake Wallet and take control of your crypto. Go, New York, go! Welcome to the breakdown. That's right. Welcome to the breakdown. Episode 728. That's right. That is right. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. Show is sponsored by Midnight, the title sponsor, Midnight. And if you haven't seen me in Midnight City, you're doing everything wrong. We'll break that whole thing down. Midnight, Privacy Matters, Poly Market, the official prediction market sponsor of the breakdown. Okay. Of the breakdown and my personal brand. Also, Cake Wallet. If you're going to use a hot wallet, use Cake Wallet. and Quad Network. Guys, listen. I'm still not on TikTok. I just reapplied to go ahead and stream on TikTok again. But I will say this. Shout out. I am on Threads now. Okay. I am on Threads and I am causing havoc on there. But I'm not really saying anything that's crazy. But like the people on Threads, oh my God. Holy shit. That's all I gotta say. Oh my God. Anyway, I don't want to start with that shit. But if you're on Threads, what's up? Give me a follow. I might follow you back. I don't know. By the way, the algorithm seems to be a lot better on Threads. Am I bugging out? Am I bugging? I don't know. Now, if you notice that I'm a little bit darker now, this is just the start. This is just the start. I went out training this weekend, hit the pool, worked out a bit. Didn't know I got lost a little bit. I got lost in time, and I look like I was left in the oven for way too long. My entire body's red. It's turning brown. It's turning brown. Always happens with me this way. It's like I'll get the reddish color, and then throughout the entire summer, I'm good. I'm Gucci. Anyway, I'm just putting it. Hold on. Let me see how I look. Hold on. Let me see how I look on screen, man. Hold on. I am so happy right now. You don't. I am still on like cloud nine. Knicks win. Knicks win. I am absolutely on cloud nine. You don't understand what this means to a New Yorker, to a Knicks fan. You don't understand. I don't think you understand what this means. But let me see what. I am absolutely. Damn. And this boy handsome, man. Like you can't. Like even if you don't like me, man. By the way, you can tune into my YouTube channel. Okay. You can. I'm rocking all over the place. This boy handsome. Come on, bro. This boy handsome. That boy right there is handsome. Anyway, let me go to the Knicks. Let me stop having. Let me go ahead and talk about the events that happened during the weekend. The Knicks win. The Knicks win. The Knicks win. Congratulations to the New York Knicks. Congratulations to Jalen Brunson. They said he wouldn't do it. They said he wasn't a superstar. They said that he's not a 1A guy. Becky, what's going on? Shout out to you. We did it on your home court. I had that in my notepad. That was the first thing that I was tweeting. And that's what I did. Becky, what's up? How's that 1A looking now? How's Brunson looking now? You know what, Brunson, I sat back, obviously we've all let this marinate a little bit here. The Knicks victory, phenomenal run, one of the greatest team runs of all time. Don't listen to what the haters are saying. Brunson had a Michael Jordan game 5, San Antonio, bench. We had no bench, okay? I don't know. For 3 quarters, the bench wasn't doing it. Towns is in foul trouble because, like, the refs are just obviously, look, the refs the entire time weren't on our side, okay? And that's fine. Our bench scored 0 points. It was like nothing. Like, we weren't scoring shit. And Brunson took over. Brunson took over the game. That's it. Like, he had a Jordan ish game to close out game 5. I'm not saying he's the next Michael Jordan. I'm saying when it came down to wrapping up the series, to making a comeback, Jalen Brunson took full control. He took full control of the game. He took over the game. He took over the fucking game. Jalen Brunson proved that small guards can win. Dallas must be going crazy. The Mavericks to allow this man to leave. But we'll get to that within the show. But he took over the fucking game. It was him against Wemby, and he whipped Wemby's ass. He really won against a 7'5" nasty ass son of a bitch. Wemby tried to take Jalen out the game too. And he tried to take out OG's goddamn ACL. This guy is ruthless, man. Like, holy fuck. Nothing was being called on him. Zero. Towns couldn't get going. He had 3 points or 2 points, whatever, but like, he couldn't get going. Like, y'all watched the same game as I did. I also think, obviously, game 4, you know, the phenomenal comeback that the Knicks made. Greatest comeback of all time. Greatest comeback. I think that wore them out a little bit. I could see how that could wear them out, and maybe they were on nerves too, along with that. You're worn out, you're on nerves. Jalen Brunson steps up. You know, Jalen wasn't having... If I was going to give out the MVP, the finals MVP, I would have gave it to OG. I think OG was the MVP of the finals. Until Jalen stepped up to close that game. He was hitting... You could see it from game 4, it carried over to 5. He went to work. Like, he went to work. He went to work. What a run by a team. What a run. And I know all the haters are going to come out and say, well, it's the only chip they're going to get for the next, 54 years or something. This is the type of shit that's going to hopefully rally them to, repeat. I hope. But what a game. And New York City, electric. New York City, electric. Electric. By the way, the fans that were doing crazy shit out there are not New York Knicks fans. I'm telling you that right now. They're not New York sports fans in general. They just saw a way to vandalize shit. They don't represent New Yorkers. Okay? They don't represent the heart of New York City. That is not what we're all about. Trash and shit. They do not represent the culture that we have here in New York sports. These people just saw an opportunity to go ahead and do stupid shit. Jalen Brunson is a superstar. He, to me, in my eyes, is a generational superstar. I don't care what anybody says. And he is going to, because this is a copycat league, this happens in all leagues, you're going to see teams now look for the next Jalen Brunson. Teams are now going to say they can win with a small guard. You can go build around a small guard and win a championship. You will see that. Jalen Brunson has brought back the small guard. So, Becky, Hammond, hey, I know you said, Steph Curry, shout out to him, shout out to Curry, amazing player. Said it, He's a one-off, right? Isaiah Curry. Now you got to go ahead and put Brunson in the conversation. MVP. So let's break down Brunson's career. He's been doubted, not fast, okay? Can't jump high, whatever. Two-time NCAA champion. NBA champ. NBA Cup champ. Do we keep going? MVP. Won tons of awards in high school. Took his high school team to the championship and won the championship. Won over 100 games with his high school team. Jalen Brunson is that guy. And I guarantee you any team would want to take him on in a second. By the way, I don't want Giannis. I don't want anybody else. Could we upgrade a few things? Yeah, but I don't want nobody else. This is a team. The Knicks are a team. They play team ball. They know how to work together. You can't you take a piece out and put let's say you trade Towns and you put Giannis in here, you're gonna fuck everything up. I'm telling you that right now. You're gonna fuck everything up. I trust Leon Rose. Shout out to James Dolan. I've always liked James Dolan. A lot of the fans haven't for the Rangers and Knicks. Any owner who is willing to write a check for no matter what amount that is to bring star players to New York, he's always poured all of his money into these teams to see them win. Obviously, we haven't got the right management, but like he's tried desperately to bring championship teams here. So I never hated the guy. I just think or thought he made the wrong hires. I'm happy he brought Leon Rose in. Shit, I hope Leon Rose takes over the fucking Rangers, man, so we can bring home a cup along with that. New York Knicks, I'll be talking about you the whole week. I'm going to be talking about the Knicks the whole week. Okay? So if you are a fan of another team, this might not be the week for you to tune into my show. But I don't give a fuck. Because I just don't give a fuck. UFC. The UFC. Oh my God. I called this. I fucking called this. I call this. Hold on. Where the fuck is the thing? Where is the goddamn thing? Hold on. God damn it. All right. The UFC. The UFC hasn't had a real... I'm telling you right now, I feel like the UFC hasn't really had really good events recently. But holy shit, first of all, the whole card was great. Every match ended with a knockout or a TKO, like, period. Justin Gaethje. Congratulations, bro. He beat the bricks off of that little motherfucker that talks mad shit. Tapore got his ass whooped. He got his ass whooped. I knew things weren't going to go well when he let his hair grow out like mine. Okay? He let his hair grow out like mine. He didn't come in there with the whole, the whole fade shit. So I knew it was an L. I knew Justin would win. Like I said this in a chat. I said, Justin's going to win. Because if Justin can take him further out into the deep, and I'm talking about basically take him into the third, fourth round, this is done. That guy's going to gas out. If he would have knocked Justin out in the first, or if he would have continued to just go after Justin in the first round, no doubt about it, probably would have won. But then Justin was taking his shots like it was nothing. Justin was prepared. And Justin hits like a truck. And I don't think Tapora has ever fucking felt a punch like that, because you can see him back away. And when he got cut, he started like, if you see replay the fight, he started covering and touching. It was over. He felt something he hasn't felt in a long time, and that is power. That is power. You know what's his best decision right now? Because he's cooked. His aura is gone. I'm gonna tell you that right now. His aura is gone. His confidence is gone. He's probably gonna take a year and a half off, because that's a beating. Okay, his face was broken. 100% year and a half off. And you know where he should go? Featherweight division. Back to the featherweight division. Not in the light. Okay, like you saw what happened. Go back down to featherweight. Get your confidence back. You got destroyed, homie. It takes courage to get into the octagon. It takes courage to fight. But you were talking mad shit. You said you're going to destroy Justin. You already put 18-0 on your Instagram page. My brother, Justin humbled you. And Justin, after the fight, didn't even have he had a little scratch on his face. His face was perfectly fine. Alex got destroyed by the French guy, bro. Like, oh my God. And you know what? John Jones comes out with the video with the goat chain smirking. Because all these people were talking about Alex, if he wins, then Panera, he's basically the GOAT. And y'all forgot who the real GOAT was. John Jones. John Jones is the real GOAT. He's fought everybody. And he's told you these people suck. We'll get into the UFC also. Let's go ahead and look at Polymarket real quick. And then we'll look at the markets as well. We came out with a new version, an updated version of G Markets. But let's go to Polymarket real quick here. All right, Polymarket. Polymarket, also a sponsor of the show. We have the U.S. military announces the blockade of Iran ports remains in effect until Iran agreement is officially completed on June 19th. 83% chance JD Vance signs the agreement. I'm going to say this. Oh, let me go here. When this actually happens, I'll believe it. I went ahead and made a video about this. After coming back from training during the weekend, burnt like a motherfucker, I made a video. And I said, I can't, until I see this agreement signed, and everybody's in Switzerland, I think, and they're signing off on this agreement, I don't want to hear about it. We go back and forth every single day. I don't want to hear about it. Let me know when they're going to sign. Let me know when they sign. But what good is this agreement going to be for? Again, Polymarket says 83% chance that JD Vance signs this shit. Okay, great. JD goes and signs, Iran signs. What good is it if Israel is going to come in and start bombing? But at this point, if that happens, that's Israel's problem. I'm keeping it a buck. And I might be ripped apart by some people, but it's okay. At this point, that's on Israel. Our job was to make sure that these motherfuckers couldn't go ahead and have access to a nuclear fucking bomb, nuclear capabilities. We did our job. After that, we're out of that region. That's my home. That's how I'm thinking. Polymarket.com, and Polymarket was also the goddamn sponsor at the UFC 250. So shout out to Polymarket, man. You want to get fast breaking news? Polymarket.com. Legit. I know they're a sponsor. You're like, oh, he's. I'm real. Like, you go into Polymarket, it's just this instantaneous news. Let's look at the markets here. Let's bring up. Obviously, I only use my own products. We've come out with things here. Let me go ahead and show you guys. G Markets is now updated. There you go. G Markets is now updated. This is version 1.4. I'm very happy with it. Very, very happy with it. Extremely happy. Okay. Total market cap is 2.39. Okay. Total market cap for crypto is 2.39. What's the biggest movers? Near Protocol, Jupiter, Tron, Cosmos is moving up. All right, cool. Total volume in the last 24 hours is $119 billion. Market mood is 79. The market move is the mood of the market is 79. Let's look at the map here. Bitcoin is up 4.8%. Ethereum is at what? Shit, I can't see from here. What is that? It's up 11%. All right, 11%. BNB 3.6. Solana up what? 12%. Okay, nice to see. Let's go to Bitcoin for a second. Let's go to Bitcoin. Bitcoin is at 170. Man, I was shit. Okay, it's bullish sentiment. Social media is saying it's at 64. Bullish. People are feeling bullish. The market cap has come back. $1.35 trillion. Total volume, 36.43 billion. Okay. All right. Look at the chart. Look at that chart. Look at that chart, man. We'll have Landy on in a few minutes, 15 minutes to go ahead and break down what's happening here in the markets. The last 7 days, Bitcoin is moving upwards. The last 7 days. Let's go to 24 hours. Yeah, it's moving up. Last 30 days, what are we looking like? We've been choppy for the last 30 days. But last 7 days, there you go. That's what you're looking at. Last 7 days. Last 7 days. All right. We know what time it is here. Hopefully, listen, I would love this market cap, or I would love this price of Bitcoin. Not going to happen. Keep dreaming. Let's look at the conversation out there. Social sentiment is at 64. 83% bullish. So, and these are some of the samples out here of the conversations that are being had on social media here from various accounts. And I'm going through this obviously to show you guys there's been a lot of upgrades and a lot more coming. So again, if you hold on, what do we have here? The G score has it at a B plus right now. I want to look at momentum. Momentum's still at a C. But market position will always be numero uno. Excuse me. I'm just fucking hyped today. I really am hyped today. Community, an A. Risk profile, B. Michael Saylor also went ahead and bought more Bitcoin today. That's right. And he bought more Bitcoin. I think $100 million. Was it $100 million worth? I think. Hold on. I'll tell you right now. Hold on. I think it was $100 million worth. I might be wrong too. Let's see. How much did he buy? The fuck? How much did he fucking buy? How much did the seller fucking buy? Okay, like I was right. $100 million worth of Bitcoin, 1587 Bitcoin, 1,587 Bitcoin purchased for $100 million, and USD reserve increased by $100 million to $1.1 billion for MicroStrategy. So there you go. There you go. I found it. Also new to G Markets is this social pulse. Who's moving the markets, right? And here you go. You want to find out essentially who are the top. Yo, this is funny that I've made it on here. I could not make. Can I keep it a buck? I could not make it on here. Literally since we've integrated this onto G Markets, I could not make it on here. I'm finally back. So Ansem's number 1. He's on there. I'm 3. All right. And they got me as a Cole. What the fuck is that? I made it on here. Holy shit. I'm so proud. I am so proud. I'm number 3. Oh, I'm number 3. Okay. All right. And listen, if you want to follow, you can put your email in there and you can get alerted to every time I move up or I move down. New on the board. I debuted at number, I'm telling you, I've debuted at number 3. I debuted at number 3. Who else is on here? Got a bunch of people on here. You can go ahead and take a look. You can go to gmarkets.io. gmarkets.io, and it'll tell you everything that's trending. Also, within social media, I'll tell you everything that's trending here in terms of tokens and, protocols and whatnot. And then, here you can go ahead and see tweets and shit like that. Anyway, back to the markets. We'll go ahead and put it back here to the markets. You guys can go ahead and look. You guys asked me, you said, hey, Dave, when are you building something like CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko? Well, here you go. Okay? Here you go. And there's a crazy breakdown and a crazy system that we're using to score these things. Okay? We'll talk about this more later on. Okay? But Bitcoin's up. Bitcoin's up, and everybody should be fucking happy. Okay? We should all be happy. Let's bring Landy on here. Let's go ahead and let's bring him on with the thing on here. Hold on. Where's Landy? Good morning to you, Landy. How's it going?
Brother, what a weekend. Holy shit, man. Wow.
Go New York, go New York, go.
Yes. Holy crap, man. What a game. Yeah, I think you said it perfectly. Brunson, just clutch. Captain Clutch came in clutch when he was needed the most. And yeah, Knicks in 5, man. That is what a historic run.
5.
What a historic run. Like I spent probably 4 hours just looking over highlights and just kind of reliving the moment. It was something special, man. It was really special. They're good people. That team has got a bunch of really good pros, right?
Yeah.
We see a lot of immaturity, around the league and various sports. It's good to see professionals that are humble, who actually just put in the work and then actually realize that success in historic fashion in this case. So yeah, that was wild. And then the UFC event, also
What
wild.
an event. I'm usually always down on kind of like the UFC recently because I feel like, I don't know, that for the last few fights, like they've been kind of like whack. But this event, I don't know if it had something to do with like, the 250 anniversary of America and shit like that. But like this fight was, this event, shout out to Dana. They did it right.
Yeah,
Like
it was
they
electric,
100%.
man.
I know people were hoping like this was going to be like some awful event because obviously Trump, hopefully this shit is not going to be good and we told you so. But I mean, the UFC event was
It
everybody.
was awesome.
It was either a TKO or a KO. I mean, like, what more can you ask for? And they fought. These people fought out. They came out and fought. And man, the last two fights, man, Alex and
Yeah.
fucking Ilya, man.
Just
He got smoked by
wild.
Justin. Justin smoked him.
Yep.
No American was going to lose that night. I'm sorry.
Man, it was really it was just an exciting weekend, kind of overload of good feelings. I mean, unless you're a San Antonio fan and you were rooting for Ilya. But yeah, no, it was really exciting. And then, to coincide with that, we had um the same day that um an agreement, which is just a 60-day agreement, to be quite honest. I know there's a lot of marketing around it, but the same day that that agreement happens, Bitcoin got a beautiful 10% network difficulty adjustment down, putting miners back in the green for marginal miners on the network. We saw some spot buying going on at the same time, of course, and then the excitement around the news of the international situations, tensions possibly cooling. And again, believe it when I see it, kind of thing. Um, and even after I see it in that particular situation, I'm not buying anything because it's a 60-day window essentially to meet the demands that the US is putting out there for very specific things like nuclear material. But enjoy the green days when you get them, right? And so market's doing well. SpaceX came up and has now hit that near that 180 target. I was
Yeah.
talking about kind of 175, 180 with the potential for 200 and much further later on. But I'm kind of looking at 200 as a big area overhead. But Bitcoin, Bitcoin's doing Bitcoin things. Talked about this with you last week that we had a higher low trend reversal setup in place. I needed to see the lower high at 62.4 broken. We got that coming um, into the Sunday candle, and then we saw it close out that way. So we are in higher low, higher high structure now. Essentially, I was looking above 65, somewhere around 68 to 70 to work its way up to over time. Not maybe it hits it today, maybe we get a pullback in Bitcoin before that happens, but 68 to 70 being the primary area overhead. And then an extension of that being kind of 72 to 74 being the big one, 72 being the top side of a local range. I would keep a very close eye if we start seeing Bitcoin run straight there. Um, it looks good so far. And in fact, the bulls have given themselves room for, near-term corrections as we kind of head into, you know, the FOMC meeting, the first one with Warsh, which I'm not expecting any fireworks there, and I think they're going to be holding um, oil back in the zone, hitting the top side of the zone that I've mentioned to you a few times. Below the mid 80s, I was looking for essentially a wider zone between 76 and $80 per barrel, and we hit $80 per barrel. Kind of short term, finding some support there, but provide some relief. For the political side of things and the inflationary side of things, especially around the Fed right now. We need to see, in my opinion, we need to see oil below 80, hanging in and around that 75 and possibly below it, which would weaken the dollar a little bit, the dollar trade there for Dixie strength. But we're starting to see some Dixie hit a very important area overhead. Oil is now heading down. And although it might bounce, 90 to 95 is the area to pay attention to for oil. But if it does continue to head down, that later this year will give Warsh, I think, the latitude to start pushing for cuts pretty heavily. I don't think it's there yet. A lot of people made a big deal about CPI inflation being 4.2%. But what they missed was the month to month on core inflation, or the metrics that the Fed actually measures, ticked down 0.1%. So, they're going to be looking at that, in my opinion, and see no reason to raise rates, but instead likely hold. And I think we just watch oil over the next few months, and if it continues to head down and stabilizes lower as a lower floor, we start seeing that window of opportunity for cuts opens up for Warsh. I'm still like I would love to hear. I want to hear him this week, by the way, when it comes to economic stuff, because I want to see what he indicates and kind of gauge the temperature. Because we've mentioned this before. This is the first time that we've seen a former Fed head stay on the board, right?
Yeah.
So very, very interesting. And so I think this week, there is some economic events coming up that, as Bitcoin rallies, as the traditional markets rally after, a 5% or so correction. It's kind of about where do things land coming into about midweek. Bitcoin, I'm still looking at dailies, as long as things are hanging above 65, especially in the more near term, I would be looking for 68 to 70. But if we do get a little bit of a correction on Bitcoin, I'd be very aware that 65 to 62 and a half is the area that you absolutely need to see hold up for the bulls. If you are looking for this to continue up and we haven't already hit 68 to 70 or higher into like the 70 to 72 area. But there's nothing wrong with any of this price structure. I was looking for, that higher low to play out with a trend break. We got that. So you just want to see that maintain in higher low structure, even on a pullback for Bitcoin here. Looks good. And that higher low structure, if you look all the way to the right there after that crash on your chart that you got there, um, if you zoom in a little bit to our most recent crash on the right hand side of the screen there, if you
I'll
kind of,
let you. I'll go ahead and I'll take this off and let you bring in
yeah,
your
okay.
horoscope. Hold on one second.
My crayon lines.
Your crayon lines. I am
Yes,
so. By the way, I again, guys, gmarkets.io. Like, I'm telling.
I like that you got the trading view charts implemented, man.
Yeah, it's for people like yourself and
Yes.
content creators that want to. It's not just trading view that you have access to with Gmarkets. Like
Yeah, it's
it's
everything.
like you can have the whole scope of things, um, which can it's more it's not for you. Well, you could use it, Landy, but
Yeah.
it's more so for people tuning in. It's
Yeah.
like like I said, not everybody understands what an RSI is, or like it's just like it's instant information you can give off to and break it down in layman's terms to your viewers that are just getting started, whether they're charting or they're just coming into the markets. It's just easier to explain.
Yes.
So I think there's no excuses. I didn't have none of this. When I came into this fucking industry, I didn't have shit like this, man. So there's no excuse for anybody to say I'm not winning here. Especially somebody like you comes out here consistently saying, "Hey, breaking the markets down for free." Like there's no excuses.
What
I'm
we're
giving
gonna
you the
do.
Gene Marcus is giving you the sentiment that's going around on all social media platforms. Like you're getting everything that you need to make and listen, it's all educational. It's not financial advice, but you're getting all the things you need to make a decision on whether or
Yep.
not to participate or hold back. Bottom line. So there's no excuses. Zero. And obviously 100%, if you are a content creator, I want you guys to use G Markets. 100%, we're going to get that done. Anyway, sorry, Landy. I didn't mean to
No,
go
you're
on a
good.
rant.
You're good. Look, I've got the tighter range here, and I'm gonna quickly whip up this chart on G markets because I think it's important to show that you can use it like the rest of the stuff, typical trading view stuff, along with all of the different sentiment and market cap analysis and all that kind of stuff. Like we've got the tools over here now, and this is very, very cool. So I mean, look, with Bitcoin here, the primary tighter zone of interest was the initial crash, and the initial crash down to the to the area here at 60K was it was a front run of a major monthly level at around 58 to 59K. So we were looking for a retest anyway. And then off of this most recent structure for price action for Bitcoin, Thursday of last week, I mentioned to you because we were getting a green day. We got above 62 and a half here, that I was looking for this to set a higher low. And then the next criteria that I wanted to see was a break above the last lower high, because we had just had a local lower high right around 64 250, 64 200 or so. And I wanted to see that break and then Bitcoin get above $65,000. So now that we have seen that, the next bigger target is going to be up here for the daily. You can see that we have essentially the area over here around 70 to 70,500 to around 72, 72.2 area overhead. So as long as we're playing in this range, there is some shorter term levels of interest right here on this daily around 68 to 69K. But realistically, as long as Bitcoin is holding the bottom side of the range, the top side of the range becomes more available. And then anywhere above there, we've got some confluent areas of interest over here in the $74,000 zone, and deviations of this range. So we've got some room for Bitcoin. This is nice higher low, higher high structure. So essentially, what I'd be looking for is for the bulls to hold up down here. And that's where, even if we do see, pull back either, here or higher, you want to see it holding this zone and then trying to continue up, right? To have a chance at hitting this zone overhead and maybe even some further trend to try to break above it to go and test, the high side structure over here. We've got, 74 to, almost 75 here. We've got a higher low over here. We've got some major areas overhead, but I would be very aware of this area because it is a tighter range. And this was where we had a big buyback and then we put in a lower high closing structure and then came down and set, a higher low at 65, which was the prior cycle high, and then kind of bounced around, made a lower low, and then started to try to work its way back up, even a retest before running to a big monthlies overhead. So this is the good position for Bitcoin to be in. I'll um I'll bring it back to my chart real quick here because I want to show
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
I want to.
Listen, I appreciate
Hey,
I've worked really hard on this and there's more stuff coming for G markets,
yeah,
which I should probably talk to you about too. I honestly, Landy will tell you, I haven't really talked to him about. I talked to him, but not recently about any of this shit. So
yeah. It's been a little while since we've caught up, and
yeah,
David doesn't really. He hasn't really told me too much. Just the general idea and direction as things have kind of developed. And I'm excited because a one-stop shop for that kind of stuff. One of the things that I would love is if I could log into my trading view through gmarkets.io and
working
I
on
could
that. Yep.
import my indicators that I use, because then why would I could just literally full screen it and chart right there, and then I can go and look at everything else all in one place.
Landy, do you know why I made it? Honestly, like you have the company and the news that Gokhshtein.com's coming back.
Yeah.
I've just been hesitating because I want it to be perfect, but it's coming.
Yep.
And the reason for G markets is I've seen on the timeline, man, I feel like when it comes to listings, right? The cabal has their hands in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that shouldn't be it. That 100% shouldn't be it. Number two, I think, traders and content creators that create content based on trading and, using trading views and charts, I think combining sentiment works in your favor in real time. So
Yes.
you can gauge what's happening.
And,
So
and
all these things and I don't want to give out everything, right? Because and I don't, honestly, I'll give you my whole blueprint, but you won't be able to go ahead and replicate it because I'm just at the end of the day, it's who's controlling this shit. And for me, we're not going to ever do. And I saw his fucking comment about the mic. Fucking bits. We're never going to do this shit where the cabal gets things listed and the community gets the stray. We're not doing that. Like if a project is good, here's my thoughts, Landy. If a project is good, it should be listed.
Yep.
That's it. Bottom line. Also, paying like $30,000 to get lit, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's wild. My thing is, I kind of felt like we need to bring back order into this fucking space. Like the OGs, the veterans here need to bring back order, and this will be the perfect tool to do that. But
I
it's
agree.
going to be a one-stop shop. It's going to be for traders. You can learn here. You'll be able to learn. Okay, if you don't know how to read, well, you'll see videos. Like you'll be able. You don't have to go here, there, there. You'll have everything available to you to go ahead and fucking win out. And you'll have some top-notch people here to break shit down for you. Look, Landy and others. I don't know. I'd like to sit down with everybody, especially in the trading world,
Mhm.
and have a conversation.
Yeah.
And we will.
Well, I think it is a beautiful, beautiful beginning. So, and I definitely have some things that I want to talk to you about in the background that I could see really becoming becoming the vision that you are describing here. So, I think yeah, for the audience out there, await the updates because they're they're hitting quickly. And one of the biggest things for me right now with Bitcoin is there's a lot of people that, of course, are calling this the macro low, and,
Well, I wanted to ask you that. At
yeah,
this point, and I know where you stand because we've been on here for, listen, for weeks, and you've been obviously breaking everything down from, from a TA standpoint and
mhm,
what you would like to see happen. But you
yes,
also said day by day, which I respect that. Let's go
yes,
day by day here.
and the
But
big
at,
thing,
at some point, can we call 5960 bottom, or maybe
well,
even say 55 is bottom if we go down? Or just
I
say that maybe we bounced off of here? Like, could it be possible, Landy? Could it be possible?
yeah, I mean, is this area a candidate, um, to become a macro low?
And I don't mean to interrupt you again, but like, you know how everybody said, well, people were saying last cycle, it's not 15.5, it's lower.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm not saying that we will, 60 is bottom. I'm not calling that. I'm just saying, could it just be that 60 is just like, this is it? Like, this is it.
Well, you remember when I talked to you about I don't think that we're there yet where anyone that is an analyst could tell you that yes, the structure is there for a macro low.
Yeah.
But you'll remember that I've talked quite a bit about this with you, and that is that Bitcoin comes down, does a trend break. And we were talking about this when the highs were being painted up here because I was talking about the upper second standard deviation. There's also a fib level right there. There's all kinds of different technical stuff that was pointing to 123 to 125 highs becoming at minimum local highs. But I was going to wait to call it the macro high until I saw any kind of closes below the low here. And we got that on weeklies, obviously, on the rundown to 60K. So we have a broken structure. But one of the things that I talked about with you is the potential, because we're in a macro compression, for us to not necessarily just V recover, but build structure that then recovers back to the upside. And this becomes a deviation of the wider trend. And we see structure build much higher than previously thought, and then come back up and make new all-time highs later. I don't think we're there yet. If that was going to be the case, we just need to see the weeklies continue to play out without dropping the lows significantly on a close. And when I say not drop the lows significantly on a close, I mean don't close below 60,000. It's 60,000 on Coinbase, for instance, but here on Index, Coinbase is having trouble with their feed to TradingView for some reason. So using the index today, it's 60K exactly for Coinbase, but it's around 60,100 for the chart here on the index. For this to become a base, yes, this is a nice sweep, but we also have to keep in mind that it doesn't mean a whole lot if we see the monthly close below 72,400 here, right? It doesn't mean too much because quite honestly, that's a lower high right here, and that is a lower low to lower high reversal setup, indicating that we at minimum test down lower. But if we continue to see closes above 60K, could we see a base built around here? There's nothing saying that we couldn't see that. It's not my first take on price action as it stands right now until I see criteria on the weekly met. Main reason why is because we had nice higher low structure here locally, right? So we came down in the bear trend here, and then we shifted with this lower high right here. We shifted into a higher low structure um, to a higher high structure, which then became a retest of a major monthly level, right at that 82.5 overhead, which just so happens to be the defining criteria for what we saw, you know, as the break of this entire zone here, 74.4 to 82.5. We got a retest of that on the weekly here, and then we dumped out all the way to new lows, right? So this was a mean reversion. What I would need to see for this area to become a macro low would be something like, a lower high, lower low, and then we start to carve out something like this. This would be the bullish pattern for this area for me, or something similar to that.
You did
Um,
something like this yesterday, right? Or I don't
on
know. I
Friday.
saw it yesterday, but you might have done it a few days ago. To
So,
where
oh
you
yeah,
did
my
the
post.
green, and then you did the red. Where's it going, kind of thing.
Yeah, so I did a post. Let me pull that up here. So I did a post just kind of like which way Bitcoin. Like there is a couple of scenarios. There's three main scenarios here for Bitcoin that I'm looking at primarily, and this is essentially, either this is the bottom and we break above the last lower high on the monthly, make higher highs, we make some higher lows, and then immediately come back up in relation to this compression. Or we continue down into, in this case, more aggressive downside below the below 60K into the upper 40s to lower 50s, or we bounce here and then find resistance at the top side over here, and then we head down, which would be, a lower low to a lower high, and then continue down. And in that kind of a structure, where I'd be looking for is the potential to bottom early before hitting, mid to upper 40s, potentially even lower 40s around 42. So 42 and a half to 40, 5.5 essentially,
Is
or even
then
lower.
is this what you would want to see? Is 42 rather than
So
go? Would you rather see 42, or would you rather see the greens play out?
So this straight green from here, I actually would not look at this as something that would be a good thing. I think that this would form a long form consolidation around the highs, or a giant range around the highs with the green. I would rather see either continuation to a big bounce up and then bottom lower, or we see a bounce up to continuation lower, or, which is actually a really viable play, is that we do bounce up, we find resistance, we come back down into the mid to low 50s, and then we actually recover back above 60. That on a weekly time frame, on lower term time frames relative to this is a monthly here.
Yeah.
That's actually what I would like to see. That would be the healthiest here in terms of compression, because it would be right into a major zone of interest. And I'll come back here and I'll show you why, to my chart here, because this entire area from this low at 38.5 to this high at 72, or 70 73 835, or 873.9, almost 74, to the big drawdown, was the primary flows into spot ETFs. So this is a major demand zone, essentially from this area to this area. It's a big area between 38 and 73. But if you zoom out on a monthly, you look at the primary base. That's very zoomed in. So let's zoom out. the primary base post ETF launch is really this candle here between 41 and this kind of zone right here between around 40, we can call it 42 to, we'll call it 63. We've already kind of dug into that zone, but that was the primary push from the spot ETF. So this is a massive, massive area of interest here. So what I had drawn on the chart there the other day is essentially this here. So this is, I called it the fun chart, right? Where we go and essentially fill this candle, this big demand candle that was retested, that we found support in from institutions. And of course, we got follow through from spot buyers on crypto native exchanges and all that kind of stuff. Right in here, this is where this would be a shallow dip into it and then a takeoff. I don't really like that as the preferable path. I would like to either see a nuke straight into it, or we come up and retest, grab some liquidity from the high side of that initial runoff of the spot ETFs. So a retest there, and then fill this big candle out again. Now, a lot are going to argue like, well, we already had the big fill there. Yeah, well, that was a different structure. This is a bull market structure. This is a bear market structure. So nothing doing really below 82 and a half, 82.8, $83,000. You can just call it 83,000 to 82 and a half. Nothing doing really. Doesn't change structure. So I'd be looking for either continuation, bounce to continuation. But then we could see right around 50% of this candle here in the mid to low 50s here. If we do reject, come down, make a slightly lower low, and then come back up, we could see that become a macro low area. And this red to green is actually what I'd want to see to get that started. And then of course, we'd need to see green hold down here and then come back later, and build things out, essentially something like this, and then start, building out back through the levels to the upside. So, there's a lot here. I get it. But there is a path that I would like to see for the health of the structure and the bidders. Um, so it's one of those situations where I would prefer to see the path here kind of play out. Let's see if this was, nope, that's not the one. This green path play out. So red to green, lower high, higher low, and then work its way out over time coming into later this year. And now this is not drawn to scale, but essentially lower term timeframes is what I would want to see, how I'd want to see that playing out. Are we going to get it? There's no one can tell you that. Just like anyone telling you that this is the absolute macro low, they don't know that it's the macro low. This is just a sweep as it stands right now in a bearish structure. So we need to see things kind of play out for Bitcoin and the rest of the market, right? Because the majors are moving with Bitcoin, and they're in macro compression, especially Ethereum. Like if you look at Ethereum is in a macro compressive area and it's in macro compression right now. Everybody wants to ignore Ethereum, but realistically, there's nothing, you should not be ignoring Ethereum just because sentiment is low on the network and the builders that, are maintaining the network. This is the same structure, higher low to higher high structure, a nice reclaim. I'm looking around the 19 to 1950 range to the upside here. A nice little retest of this area over here. If it can get it. Otherwise, you want to see, 1600 to 1650 hold up for Ethereum, right? So this is just longer term time frame zones and some horizontals here. I could see this kind of coming up to where the upper first is as a potential here if this wants to continue cooking. But realistically, it needs to hold, right around 1600 to 1650 down here. So this low to the lower first here, right around where this support zone top side is. So what Bitcoin does, the rest of these majors are doing. Um, I would say I'm still in the camp of looking for another leg down, even if it's just into the mid to low 50s. But if we start closing down there for Bitcoin, I would be looking for the low to mid the low to mid 40s being the next big area of interest. So I just don't we don't have enough information. There's some people that are vibing. This is the low, but that's all vibes. Uh, there's 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 a lot of things stacked against Bitcoin right now. But
Yeah.
if we were to break the highs up here, I if we were to break the highs up here, that's where things would actually significantly change for me. If we were to come up and do one of these and then come back down and then start marching back to the upside, that kind of a path, then things do change. Very highly likely that this zone, even if it becomes a longer form accumulation, becomes the macro low. But as it stands right now, it's not a candidate at the moment. You could even see something like this, another lower high, higher low, higher high. I would still need to see this guy break over here. Means doesn't mean a whole lot until we see this last lower high break. And then, of course, it becomes the next lower high. And you have to reclaim the bear structures in order for me to flip bullish. But that said, I talked about this with you last week. The first time that Bitcoin came down to, and a lot of others, because I don't just pick up Bitcoin, but um, the first time that Bitcoin came down to 60K, right? I had an order. I had orders at 60K for spot. It didn't hit them, right? So I got some orders at the next bigger area, right around 65, 65 and a half. I did get some fills, and when it kind of bottomed right here, that's when I got some fills. When it was running down to 62.5, I finally got some fills at 60K. I'm willing to keep filling on spot 60K and under. That's what I wanted to see anyway. I think that the risk to reward ratio is fine in this area and lower. Even if it were to go to catastrophic downside prices, like who cares? It's just cheaper Bitcoin to average down into. Same for the other majors. And I mentioned this to you, for a couple of weeks now. I've been eyeing even memes and picking up memes and stuff. And shout out to Bits because if he's been looking at the others chart and keeps bringing it up over and over and over again in terms of others strength versus, and that's small caps versus Bitcoin, and holding up well on the moves down and showing more mature signs of seeing some nice runs. So I've taken a look at that as well, seen some of the same things, and then gone through on even some memes and accumulated some, not a ton. I'm giving room, by the way, for that sector when we do start bottoming out in Bitcoin, whether it's here or lower. Which again, my bias is still lower for right now, but I will update that if I see what I want to see in the structure here. But I've been accumulating some memes, and I'm keeping a specific meme pot of USDT, USDC as well, to get into when we see the hype come back to that. Because as soon as the majors start moving, we're going to see launch, 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 launch. So I want to be able to participate there a little bit as well, um, picking up some low cap, memes that might just become tickers, but and not just not OGs, but might just become tickers, and might as well participate in that, right?
I mean, I was looking at it today. Let me bring this up. See, like, this is what I want. I know I keep pushing G markets, but like, I really made it for myself.
Yeah,
Like everything that I talked about earlier, but like you make these things that you can use yourself, right? If it's good, you use it yourself, right?
yeah, absolutely.
So let me bring this up. Uh, well, I was looking, and this is real time, so I'll switch up and I'll tell you. Um, where's the? I was looking at the memes, man. Hold on. Well, you can go live to the deck. So there's two things. You have the markets, right? So you can look at everything. Obviously, you can look everything here, same way you would do like on Coin Market Cap or whatnot.
Yeah.
But I think the next update here, you'll have a lot more things, and it'll be a lot different than what CMC offers. Respectfully, we're in the trenches, right? We're on here every single day. We know what people are looking for. I know what I'm looking for. Bottom line. Where is it, man? I was fucking. We also have the decks, so like like Deck Screener and stuff like that. Shout
Yeah.
out to Deck Screener. I have no beef with them, but you have all the new tokens that are popping off, off of Pump Funnel wherever that you'll see here. Obviously not listed on the main thing. Where is it? Where is it? Okay. I'm looking for the memes, man. By the way, I said something this weekend, and like people are kind of like tight at me.
Oh, really? You got to be kidding me. I never would have guessed, David.
I said, was it on this show or was it? No, I said it might be time to pivot. And
Yeah.
what I
Oh,
mean by
yes.
that is
It was here. It was here.
pivot from make sure you have like right now as look, you're on here saying that we might go to 42. I'm just hypothetically speaking.
In theory, that is a big area if 60K breaks down, especially on closes.
So I'm not saying that you're like praying for it. You're just looking at the charts. You're trying to figure all these people, right? Like you guys are all trying to figure out where's the bottom, where can we go? Where do we bounce from? Like, I respect that. Okay.
Mhm.
So that means like right now, well, let's just say for what it is right now, we're still in the bear market.
Yes.
And we're chopping away here. So you have time. I feel like you have 2 to 4 months. That's just my personal opinion. I think we have 2 to 4 months. Want to extend it to 5? Extend it to 5. I don't know. But we have 2 to 4 months here to go ahead and pick up some really good things. Like if you're new here, I think you have the ability right now to pick up Bitcoin, pick up Ethereum. And I'm actually obviously angry with Ethereum. You guys know that. I haven't hid my frustration with Ethereum. What Vitalik is doing with sniffing robotic asses and writing fucking decentralized governance fucking sci-fi books. I haven't made that a secret. I'm like, yeah, like you should be focusing on the roadmap. But you have Solana out here. I know Landy's waiting for $19 Solana. You got a lot of things that you can potentially grab up, and then like you talk about memes, Landy, then go get the best memes out there. That's what I'm saying. Like a lot of you guys are sitting on. You're gonna take this as I'm funding memes. I'm not, but it's time to fix the meme economy because the meme economy right now is dog shit, and the cabal is leading you off a fucking cliff. That's what's happening right now. What I'm saying to you is, get a foundation first. Get the foundation, and then go into memes. Make your money in memes. Take profit, get more Bitcoin, get more, whatever it is, but get more of the major players rather than trying to hit 10,000 X's. Like, stop. It has to come to an end. You guys see, there's no liquidity in the meme economy. It's going from one meme to the next meme. It's not, you guys are getting frustrated with whoever's creating one. They don't have liquidity. They're not liquid. Well, they're liquid, but they're not liquid. You get where I'm going with this. It's not an NFT where there's no, they're just not liquid enough. So they go with like, some go to 8 million and then they crash down because the top people holding are getting the fuck out and then moving on to the next one. So what I'm saying is, look at Dogecoin. I know people might hate Dogecoin, but look at Dogecoin, look at Pepe, look at Shiba Inu. Look at these things that have I'm looking at the holders and the counts going up. That's what I'm looking at. You want to get into memes? Look at the ones that have holder counts that continue to go up. Look at ones that have docs teams or teams that are out there consistently building. Luca, right? Pengu. That's the kind of thing you want to look for, and not the next fucking shit coin that comes off a fucking pump.fun. The only people that are making money right now off of all these things are pump.fun, Phantom, respectfully. These are capitalism exists. I'm not frowning on them. Like, they're taking advantage of capitalism in a decentralized world. Capitalism still exists in a decentralized setting. But they're the only ones making money. They are the only ones making money off of these things that are coming off, and maybe a few of their friends. That's it. You're cooked. You are cooked. So if you want to make the meme economy healthy again, well, start going into the shit that's been around for 9-10 years. Or maybe 3 or 4 years or 5. With fucking holder counts that are going up. Like that rather than the bullshit. So people are mad at me, Landy, because they think that I'm fudding the meme economy. No, the meme economy, I'm gonna say this real quick. The memes will not survive if something doesn't happen. And what I mean by happen is, if we don't go back to what we had before, the memes are dead. This entire category is dead. This entire sector will be gone. There might be a few memes, maybe 5 to 6 memes that stay alive within the entire economy. And that's it. Why would you want to come here? Why would you want to participate in the meme economy? It's absolutely destroyed. You don't even have an advantage. The only people that are making money are the people that are taking your money, and that's the shit that's going out there. It's good for 24 hours. They're on to the next one. You're upset. You're actually upset that you're going into a casino. Let me take this hold on. Let me take this away for a second. You are mad at the casino. Landy's probably in shock that I'm talking this way. You're mad at the casino. You're upset and you want to go after everybody because something went up to 10 million, you bought the top, and then it went down. What did you expect? What did you expect? There's not enough money to support all these fucking projects. You guys are happy. The sick part about this is you guys are happy about 500K market caps. Like it's a fucking achievement to hit 500K. And you won't go into any meme that's at 5 million and above. You're like, oh no, that's too high. So we're in a fucked up situation when it comes from a meme standpoint. Nobody's afraid to go into a chain link. Nobody's even looking at Chainlink's market cap. Nobody's looking at Hyperliquid's market cap. They just understand it's a good buy long term. So people are going to, I'm telling you right now, there are people that are absolutely fucking tired of this bullshit, and they're going to flee from the meme economy and go look for things like Chainlink, Hype. I'll name them all out. They go look at these things. You have Sui, things that are oversold. They're going to look for that, and they'll be like, listen, I'd rather get into this because it has a better chance of working out. Why would you go into a meme when you can go into Soul and potentially have Eric Trump fucking shill it? I'm being serious. Eric Trump and Sui, there's a partnership there of some sort. Why wouldn't you want to go into? I know Sui's broken down a few times. So did Solana, and guess what? Solana went to $300. Solana was at $8. You imagine if you took that flyer? All I'm saying is there is no reason right now as we speak, there's no reason to be in memes. If you're at, maybe Landy will probably say that I'm wrong. Maybe. I don't know. I'm just, if you put 50 G's into some meme and you're down to $2,000, maybe it's time to take out the $2,000 and go into something else. And take a chance to maybe get even and maybe make $3,000 on top of that. I don't know. Like, That would be my line of thinking. Like what percent? What is going to have a better percentage of coming back? Is it Sui? I'm just using Sui hypothetically speaking. Is it Sui or Dick in the butt? Well, which one has a better chance of coming back? That's what I'm talking about, right? I'm not saying get rid of your Doge or get rid of your Shiba Inu because those things have a good chance to. Nothing's guaranteed, but it has a good chance of coming back. But why would you be in something, a derivative of a derivative in a meme that everybody left already, and you're down 80%. At some point, Landy. At some point, you have to cut your losses. Like, even if it comes back, like at some point, you have to cut your losses and go into something that has a better chance of recovering, and you recovering. You just can't. You can't pray. There's no praying and trading.
No.
God's not on your side. You think God has a favorite in the crypto market? You think Jesus is out here praying that you think Jesus is out here praying that your stuff works out? At some point you got to cut the losses, man. This is no longer the market of we're going to make it and a kumbaya diamond hands. This is not the market. You know what? You could have pushed back at me 2021. Where people were holding, like people would hold. Like there was I guess that was the utility of just holding. Now people hold for 36 seconds. Nobody goes to sleep on their memes. You know that, right? Not a single person will go to sleep without exiting out of a position. Because they know they're going to wake up to like fucking zero tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are going to get mad at me in the meme economy. This is not me trashing the memes. I'm just telling you it's not healthy right now. The meme economy is not healthy. We were healthy at one point and something broke. Guess what broke it? Technology. Okay? When you advance in tech and you don't have to hire any developers to make a smart contract, you could just 2 seconds, you put it out there, it costs you nothing. You got people making $1 million creating 92,000 tokens. They're creating 92,000 tokens. They're making $1 million from the 92,000 tokens from the creator fees. Their mindset is like, I'm going to create so many tokens. All I need is one Solana from each. Do you understand? Like, that's the mindset here. So the meme economy is absolutely broken. And the meme economy does not generate revenue. This is not a company that actually generates revenue. Like, Luca can say, like, Pengu or the Pudgy Penguins is a revenue generator. Like, you can say that about Pengu. You know what? I'm gonna leave that alone with Pengu. You can say that about Pudgy Penguins, the company. That they can generate revenue. Like, you got toys and Walmart and all that stuff. You can't say that about a lot of memes out here. What are you gonna say? Where are they getting their revenue from? What's the total market? I'll look it up. What's the total market cap for memes? Has to be somewhere in the 30 to 25 billion dollar range, right?
It's fairly small right now.
Are there great memes out here? Yes, I think Apu's great. I think Pepe's great. I think Bobo's great. I think Doge and Shiba Inu. I think these are great memes. I think Bread is great because I look at things like they advertise and it cost them a lot of money for that. Morocco F1 Formula racing. I mean, like, you got to have money for that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm looking at those are the type of things that I look at, and the social sentiment, like who's talking, is there a community still there? Are the people still front facing? Are they talking about it? But the rest of these things, like 95% of them are fucking dead.
Yeah, if we're looking at market cap, we're looking at 31, just shy of 31 billion market cap.
31 billion. And how much does Dogecoin hold of that?
I don't know. Let me look.
Go look at
actually.
what Dogecoin
It's a
holds.
significant amount. I know that.
So if it's 30, Dogecoin is the Bitcoin to the meme economy.
Yeah, it is half of the market cap of memes. It's 15.2 billion right now.
So if you have a $30 billion market cap in memes and 15 billion of that sits in Dogecoin, how much does Shiba Inu have?
Shiba, you're looking at 3 billion. So you've got between the two, you've got 18.2 billion of the 30 billion market cap is
What are
in
you
just
doing?
those two.
You got two that it's kind of like Bitcoin and Ethereum. They they
Mhm.
they have most of the liquidity. That's why when people say like they're gonna flip Dogecoin, when? What are you talking about? Like what are you saying? And like Landy's brought it up multiple times when we've been on these conversations. He's like, Dogecoin didn't move.
Yeah, not really, not yet.
You guys talk about Pepe, respect to Pepe, but like until first of all, until somebody flips Dogecoin, nobody but Dogecoin is number one. That's it. Like I don't want to hear it. Fucking don't even focus on Dogecoin. Focus on Shiba Inu at first, like to try to flip them. But you have $18 billion tied into two assets. That leaves nothing for the 95,000 tokens that are out there.
I mean, Dogecoin is one of the memes that I picked up spot on in this last rundown. So
Look at this jackass. David missed the entire move on troll, and it shows I didn't miss anything. How do you know what I missed?
well, I
How do you
mean,
know what I missed? How do you know what I get into? And there's tweets out there. I don't know how many more times I have to say. I got into troll when it bottomed, basically. I didn't miss nothing. I don't miss. I'm too Jewish. I gotta keep the Jew card. I'm missing.
when we're looking at like, see, there's time horizon and opportunity cost, right? So there's there's also considerations of how much liquidity of yours do you want in that liquidity pool when you pick up something that is a small cap, right? Because eh, you know that liquidity can very easily be taken by there's always somebody bigger. Let's put it that way. There's always somebody bigger. Unless you're in there sniping zero blocks on things on Solana or doing tricks to position yourself through the liquidity pool to gather up as much tokens as you possibly can, or you've just been consistently buying for a long time, which would put you in the category of an OG meme, right? Because you need with time to gather a bag. Um, I think like Doge just hit a major area. Obviously, it could still head lower into the 8 billion to 9 billion market cap, but there's no reason for me, like for me personally, like I was have no problem picking up spot here and lower for like Doge. Makes no We're in a massive compression. Look, I think that Doge will
By
set
the
the
way,
tone.
before you keep going with Doge, Moose doesn't ever want to come on my show. Moose forgot about who I am. We live in New York. Well, I'm in New York. He's in New York City. You would think, oh, celebrate the Knicks victory together. No, he's doing it on his own. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. No, don't get jealous of anything. You forgot my fucking number. I'm getting text right now and fucking tagged and people saying like, how dare you talk about this memes like this? One person said Landy has convinced you to hate memes. No, Landy just told you he went into memes.
I only get into them when we're in a bear market. I'll play on smaller cap new stuff when we're in a bull market, but I'm not going in and actually accumulating spot in a bull market. I do that in the bear market. I mean, that is
Unbelievable.
That is literally the play. I mean, if those out there that believe in the memes don't think that's the play, then I don't know why you even in it. What's the point?
I don't. I look. I think you should take an opportunity in all these markets to get as much profit as you can. I think if you haven't learned your lesson from all these cycles, then you deserve the losses, right? Like at the end of the day, thank you, Moose. You should DM me, okay? Disrespectful, disrespectful. He's out there like he's doing these shows. I like them. No. Hold on, pause because I was about to say something. I like his content, but he's doing these shows naked and shit. Okay, like he's gambling naked. Fucking in New York. We're in New York. Oh, now he's buying Doge because of you. Listen.
Well, if we break
that's
down
fine.
from here, just don't be surprised. Doge has a floor area that I'm looking at. So, I've got some initial buys until I see structure change. The big thing is if we break down below $12 billion market cap, I'm looking for anywhere between 7.5 and 8 initially for Doge on expansion into the prior bear market low area. But the opportunity cost from here and there made sense to just go in. For me personally, from an analyst perspective, made sense for me to go in and pick up some spot.
Look, people say like first of all, let me talk about. Can I say something about motion? People that talk about motion. Let me tell you right now about motion. Ain't nobody got motion unless you got money. I can easily. This is like anybody. Anybody who wants to claim that they have motion could take 100 grand and throw it into something. That's your motion. Am I wrong?
I mean, I guess, yeah. That's not wrong. I mean, that's motion on the charts.
Elon can't move something. Can we understand? Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, okay, who has more followers than anybody else. Don't tell me about CR7. I'm talking about the richest man in the world. On his own platform. Can't move a goddamn thing. If Elon was to say anything before, okay, this is how you know the liquidity's still not here. If Elon would say anything, the shit would skyrocket. Shit would absolutely skyrocket. Wolf Bitcoin knows.
Shout out, Cade.
Who's behind that fucking account?
It is Cade.
I know, because he has both his accounts in the goddamn room. Okay? And I'm like, I know that fucking voice, man.
Love Cade.
He's a good kid.
Wolf Bitcoin crew.
He might get offended that I called him a kid. Look, we got kids in the house. We got Moose as a kid. Cade as a kid. None of them can grow a beard.
Wait a minute. Some of them.
He has something going.
Some of them can grow beards, but your best beard comes after 30. Wait, that sounded bad. Wow. That sounded wrong. Wow. Wow. Yo, well, chat's going to have fun with that one.
Wow. Wow. Holy shit.
I'm not as familiar with Moose, but I see
He's a good cat. I don't know if he's been on my show a few times, but then he unfollowed me and blocked me like you did. So
yeah, I mean, well, sometimes sometimes David, you just need to be, put on notice, gotta block you, and then send you various horrible DMs from a alt account. I have to do it every once in a while. Just,
I have to bring Tristan Thompson back on here because he said Knicks in 6.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, he laid out the case for them to go right and win.
He did. Yeah. I'm telling you right now, Jalen Brunson had a Michael Jordan performance in Game 5. And when you talk about 1As and superstars, you're talking, you got to put Jalen Brunson into the equation. And what's his name? Oh my God. How can I forget his name? Because he's been behind the Knicks for the last 3 years. Even when Becky Hammond went ahead and said that Jalen Brunson, too small, nothing. Fuck, what's his name?
Oh,
How did I just fucking lose his name? He played for OKC. Fuck.
yeah.
And
My
Boston.
brain is- yes.
Perkins.
Yes.
He said, big body Brunson is going to deliver. Okay. Yo, I got to tell you, I was screaming like a bitch Game 4. When we made that comeback, it sounded like my balls never dropped.
Oh, that's funny.
I was jumping in one spot and I sounded like a bitch. Yes. Like, what? Where did that voice come from?
Video evidence, or it didn't happen.
I'm telling you, I had the camera on. I wish it was recorded. That entire Knicks game, the camera was looking at me. I'm sitting here because I'm superstitious. I'm like, I gotta sit here. I gotta watch the game. I'm not moving. I wanted to pee so badly. My bladder's like on the verge of exploding, and I'm just sitting here. I'm like, I am not moving. For instance, the Knicks. I didn't touch my phone. Right, my phone was like this. I texted you.
Yes.
But the phone was like this for a good while. Like I wanted to pick it up. I was like, nope, can't do it. If I touch something right now, it's over.
The range of emotions just in that split second from the shot bouncing off the rim to OG tap. I went through a wild range of emotions watching that. And then it was over. I hit the floor. I was screaming. Look, it has been so long.
No, that's better than sex.
It's been so freaking so long since seeing them win.
Landy didn't want to say shit just now. You saw this?
Yo,
that feeling, it felt like you were de-virginized.
Look, for those that aren't New York sports fans, it's tough to describe, right? I mean, look, baseball is a lot more recent. I'm a Buffalo Bills fan, so I'm used to losing big games. And I was afraid, I'm gonna be honest with you. I was afraid that my Buffalo Bills fandom mojo was gonna bleed over to the Knicks. And so I was superstitious about everything. I was like, I'm not getting snacks. I'm not doing nothing. I'm just going to sit here and I'm going to have the cigar off to the side for if they win. And whoo, man, that Game 4 and then, dragging the series on to Game 5 is and getting the win in the fashion that
Bro,
they
I was
won.
so frustrated with the Game 5. Like, I was like, how do we only have 15 points in the second quarter? I'm like, what the fuck is happening here, man?
So yeah, and this is to Ryan, because Ryan read me the riot act for talking about the refs. The Knicks beat the Spurs and the refs. They overcame
100%.
both.
100%.
The refs were stacking it against them.
And you know what?
Wild.
If you want to, I'm gonna tell you right now, where like it was confirmed to me that the refs and Adam Silver were behind trying to get this a Game 7 type of shit. Remember when Jalen Brunson is dribbling? There's a few I think there's a few seconds left, and he's dribbling. Wimby and Castle, they're smacking. I think it's Castle. No, it was Wimby and Harper. I think they're fouling him.
Yeah.
And there's no call. Like it's an obvious foul. Like they're literally trying to
stop. Mugged him. They straight up mugged him right there. Yeah.
No call. The ball goes flying. And if it wasn't for fucking Bridges,
Yep.
they get the ball back.
Yep.
They had to call a foul there because it's obvious to everybody you're fouling Bridges.
Yep.
Bro, I'm watching this. I'm like, this is confirmation of this entire series.
You were watching the you were watching when Silver came up and the fans just started booing the shit out of him.
Yo, by the way, he looks like a vampire.
He does. He does.
Like he really looks like a vampire. He reminded me. Remember that it was called Dracula, the movie?
Yeah, of course.
If anybody watched Dracula the movie, he looks like the guy playing Dracula, I guess, or that vampire in that cave.
You know what's wild? I've got a buddy, a Bad Price. Shout out to Bad Price. Who would
like
just be like, he looks like a lizard person. He looks like a lizard person. He really does.
I don't get it, man. I and by the way, if you're gonna let the teams play, right? Yeah. It's the finals, you're gonna let them play physical. Then you gotta let both sides play physical. You can't they're trying to protect Wemby the entire time. Do you understand I'm gonna tell you what the NBA did. They felt like, from a branding perspective, they really fucked up Wemby. Because you made him like one of the most hated. If he came in with aura, like Wemby had this aura, right? Now he has this now you have people looking at this guy like, yo, we don't like you. You're like a baby giraffe flopping all over the place. Like, no, like nobody likes you now. He tried to. Do you see what he did to? You sent me the thing. OG's fucking standing, and all of a sudden Wemby tries to take out his ACL.
Yes.
You had
the stomp.
Yeah, they called a F1 on Jalen, but when Jalen went ahead and took a shot, you saw what he did with his foot. He was trying to hurt him.
Yep.
Nobody's gonna I'm telling you right now. Nobody's going to like him now. It's going to take him years. This dude left the court without shaking. Here's your ambassador, right, of basketball. He left the court without shaking the Knicks' hands. You had one player on the Spurs that stood out there to congratulate the Knicks. Yep. Like a true sportsman, excuse me.
Yep.
I got to tell you, man, I didn't like the Spurs since forever, 1999, bro. That's when, you understand, we went, not that we had, a good chance anyway. We were the 8th seed. We miraculously made it to the fucking NBA Finals. And now we're going against Duncan and fucking, I mean, that team's, that team's loaded up, man. I mean, we don't got Ewing. We got no fucking answer for Robinson or Duncan. So we got Larry Johnson with a broken back. We did everything possible. And they won on our court, man, and celebrated. It was just a nasty feeling, you know?
Yep.
27 years later, we're celebrating on their court. And this is a team. And you know what? I'll say that. I'll be nice. San Antonio does have a good team, though. I think Harper's going to be amazing. I like Castle. They have players, man, that if they add another piece, you know what? Giannis would be perfect for them, not the Knicks. If they wanted to add somebody next to Wemby, who I just absolutely despise, it would be Giannis and Wemby. And then you have Harper. That's your big three.
Yeah.
I don't know, putting it out there.
I think the NBA and Wemby did Wemby dirty, but it was Wemby ultimately at the end of the day. Between the way he played, I would classify as dirty throughout the finals, and throughout the run that they had. He played pretty damn dirty. But I think more importantly, his press conference at the end, no accountability, no leadership, spiteful, just and that's not the look you want right? And it's
No.
gonna take him a while to turn those optics around. Really, like, he's gotta humble himself, and, somebody, buddy of mine, Milo, put it like, "Look, he's young. He's
Nah,
young."
nah.
But I
That
think
that's
it's more
that's
than him being
that's an
young.
attitude. That's
It's
that's
an
already. You know what? You know Jay. What's his name? I think it's Jay Williams.
Mm,
Really good point guard before the motorcycle accident.
yeah,
But he's an ESPN analyst. He said, "I don't want my big man to be nice," and I respect that. Like I respect it. But like there have been other big men that have been like nasty, but they respected the players,
yeah,
and the NBA, and like they were ambassadors. Like Shaq was a nasty individual, right?
yeah, yeah. But he respected the fans, he respected the other players, and he more importantly, is he always took accountability.
Like
Always.
he was going to hurt you if you came into his office.
Mhm.
Like that's who Shaq was. And if Shaq actually took it seriously, I'm talking about working out like the same way like Jordan and Kobe did, Shaq would have been the greatest player of all time. I don't care what anybody says. Like I think
I
Shaq is like,
I'm still of the opinion that he is one of the
yeah,
greatest players of
100.
all
But
time.
I think he would have been. And I know that's a deep conversation because people like Jordan. Yeah, I respect the fuck out of Jordan. I think Jordan is the greatest player of all time.
The only thing I want Shaq to apologize to younger me about is the video game Shaq Fu, because that game sucked. That game
I
sucked,
want him to
bro. Why'd you
apologize for
put
the
your name on
movies
that?
too. Like I mean, the movies.
Hey, you know what? I can accept the movies, but the game, I was a young kid and I spent some of my young kid money on that game, and it was just not a great game. I was mad. I didn't stay mad for very long, but I was mad. But no,
Nick,
Shaq is a treasure of a
yeah, he
human
is.
being as it is,
And
and
he
I
makes
don't
money
see
all
that.
over the place, man. He makes
Well, I
money on.
yeah, well, his deal with Walmart and, like, all the other stuff that he did with the shoes and everything. The dude is a business guy, but
Yeah.
I don't see the characteristics in Wemby,
No.
and, he's young, but I don't see the characteristics in him of becoming one of those big men that is the ambassador for basketball because he's talented. He's very talented, but there's a next level, chip on his shoulder, and then you combine that with the way that he plays in not even a dominant fashion, but like a dirty fashion that I think if he doesn't get that out of his game and change in the next 3 years or so, he's gonna do a lot of, reputation damage with the league and the fans.
Think
But,
about this though, Andy.
winning does solve a lot of problems, but it doesn't solve the
Matt,
optics problems with fans.
think about Wimby. If you watch this series, 22 years old, right? He has to have a lot of energy, correct?
Yeah, he faded
Okay.
fast every game.
Every game he faded. So you imagine people like, oh, he's still 22. He'll gain weight and stuff. Well, that'll be even worse, right? Because if you look at his body now, right, and he has no muscle on it, and then he gains muscle, he's not going to be as athletic as he is now. So
Yep.
this is why I say that Wimby, like if you have Wimby right now, I think you have, and people will probably say like I'm fucking bugging, but it's like you want to say 7 years, okay, 7 years, but I think he has like 3 to 5 years until like he starts breaking down. Porzingis, like I'll tell you about every single 7'1" and above player. They only have a short lifespan, and then they start breaking down. He's not your go-to. I'm telling you right now. Wimby is not your go-to. Your go-to in San Antonio is Harper. I think Harper is that guy. At 20 years old, he showed me everything I needed to see. Like the way he drives to the rim is so strong, it's crazy. Like he's able to like maneuver also at the same time when he goes to the rim. So I don't know, like Wimby, this is not me being salty. I'm just saying, like, I don't see for a big man like him, if he's already wearing out, then how is he if he adds on muscle and he has to play in the paint and he's going to get bumped through an 82 game season, how is he lasting?
Mm-hmm.
That's all look at Davis. Like, look at all these big men, and they're not as big as him, and they got muscle to them. Just look at them.
Yep.
Like, I think he's just way too tall. You know, like that's the problem. I think he's way too tall, and that has to take from a gravity standpoint, it has to take a toll on the knees.
As he gets older, yeah. Look, I think that he's an interesting player from a player's perspective. I just do not care for him and his play style or his attitude. That's really what it comes down to. And also, he's not on the Knicks, so I have no vested interest in, in
Everybody's like,
defending
man,
anything about him.
David is straight up hating. I'm telling you right now, like, I had a different perception of Wemby. Thought he was this nice kid, you know? I'm not saying like I don't appreciate. This is not to say I don't appreciate him being aggressive or anything like that. I'm saying that I thought it was this nice kid, but he's not. He is a dangerous kid. That he's on the court and he it wasn't just the Knicks. He was doing this to the Western Conference teams.
Yep. Yeah, the entire time.
The only
It's
thing
just-
is when you meet up with an Eastern Conference team, Eastern Conference teams are gritty. Like they're about New York City's about that life. You have a bunch of the Knicks, like they're about physical play, no problem. And I think that's where that's where Wemby ran into trouble, is that Cat was willing to mush him in the face along with Robinson. And he didn't experience that during this run on this, on the Western side. So when here come the Knicks, and they think, and he basically said, like, he didn't even give the Knicks a shot. I don't know if you've seen the interview before the games, or before the series started. He was talking about Boston and everybody else. He didn't even care for the Knicks. So like when he meets the Knicks, and they're a little bit gritty here, man. They had no problem getting into he had no, honestly, if they weren't calling these fucking stupid ass fouls on Towns would have been dunking on his ass the entire time. He can't stop Towns.
Yeah. K Towns was unfortunately targeted with some of the most ticky-tacky bullshit ass fouls I've seen in a very, very long time. But at the end of the day, the Knicks are the champ.
What you just sent me is what I seen this.
Yeah.
And bro, he broke his ankle so many times on this.
Yes, he did.
I'm telling you, he looked like a baby giraffe that just came out.
Look, it was David and Goliath right there, right? That's really what it came down to. And the little man won and proved a lot of these analysts wrong.
By the way, can we talk about the subject of little guy? Can we talk about this real quick?
Yeah.
Jalen Brunson is 6'1", 6'2".
6'2" officially.
Okay.
I'm doing air quotes.
So let's say if you
I think
take
they
an
gave
inch
him
off.
an extra quarter inch there, but
You want to take an inch off? No problem. 6'1". You want to say he's 6 foot? Okay. Since when is 6 foot small? Like the way they speak about him, it's like, oh, he's a small dude. Like, what is he? 4'11"? Like, what are you saying? He's Muggsy Bogues here? Like, what are we talking about? Like, it makes me laugh every single time somebody says, oh, well, he was 6'1". Well, 6'2". I mean, like, and like, what does that mean?
yeah. It's almost like they ignored his college career. They ignored the success he's had. They ignored look, he took a freaking massive pay cut to allow for them to build out that team. That's
100%.
a freaking leader right there. That is a leader. It's wild, man. Like
How does he get drafted in the second round after winning 2 titles is the question. Being the leader of those 2 titles. I know Bridges and Hart were there, but I'm just saying he was the engine, and he gets drafted in the second round. Like, And then Dallas only offers him 4 years, 55.
Yeah. It's wild.
And then he said it himself. He was like, well, then they wanted to give me a contract, right? I mean, Cuban
Yeah.
came out and said that they have all the money in the world to offer him the best contract, right? And they never did.
Yep.
And he left.
Well, we already know Cuban has made a few very large mistakes.
Look what
both
they did.
there and outside of there.
Dallas has fumbled so badly. How do you have Luka and Brunson?
Exactly.
How do you fumble?
Yeah.
You have Brunson, who, here you go, here's your point guard. Would have made life so much easier for Luka.
Yep.
Him and Luka would have tore up and you add in pieces where needed. And you know what I love about this most? Fuck the Brooklyn Nets. Hey, KD, what's up, bro? Kyrie, what's up? Big three. What happened?
See what happened was.
Yeah, exactly. You didn't want to come to the Knicks, right? I remember that. I remember when we were supposed to get KD, Kyrie, and we were supposed to, God willing, draft the first overall. And that was the kid from Duke.
Oh, shit.
Oh my God, what's his name? Because we got RJ instead with the third pick.
Yeah.
And they played together. Fuck. What's his name?
What?
He tore his shoe off during and that's when he injured his fucking knee. Oh my God. He hardly plays. I mean, like, to me, like, I haven't seen him play.
Yeah, no, he kind of immediately faded.
What the fuck is his name? I gotta look it up. Hold on. This is a little bug me.
Yeah, I'm actually looking now because I don't remember his name, to be quite honest. There's a few on the board, and I forget. Because we're talking 22, right? That would have been 22.
Zion Williams.
Zion Williams. There you go. Thank you. Yeah,
it was going to be Zion that the Knicks drafted, air quote, and KD and Kyrie coming to the Knicks.
Yeah, that was the narrative.
Yeah.
That was the narrative at the time.
So then that's when, like, when the Knicks finally got cleared cap and they got Brunson, all these so-called experts said, what the fuck? This can't be it. They must be bringing in somebody else. And here's Brunson, like you said, the ultimate team guy. Literally doesn't take the max contract, leaves money so they can build a team. Because he wanted to win so badly here. Because he understood. And that's not an easy thing to do because you live in New York, you're getting taxed 50% of that. He's not in a state where, like, there's no state tax. He's getting taxed. And here he goes. He does everything to bring Josh Hart here, whoever. Honestly, this Knicks team is a special fucking team. I hope they repeat. Obviously, I'm biased. I'm a Knicks fan. I hope they do repeat because then it'll cement. They got, in some sense, they got to repeat. Because then it will really cement the fact that Jalen Brunson is the GOAT.
Yeah.
And people will say, yeah, that was a good Knicks team. Like, that's a great Knicks team because they did it back to back. They have to have, I don't know what they need to do. Like, Josh Hart, great. Obviously Towns, all these they got the core there. Could they
Mhm.
upgrade their bench a little bit? Could happen, but I'm just saying, you know what they figured out though? For the Knicks, I think if they get somebody like Jose Alvarado, what was his name? What's his name? Alvarado? No, it's not Alvarado.
Mm-mm.
Number 5.
Yeah.
Him and Jalen Brunson were playing fast. If the Knicks can get somebody like that can play fast with Jalen, these are the little things. Hey, you know what? I ain't the GM. I'm going to trust Leon Rose, man. This man has brought a championship to New York. I am so fucking happy, man. I am so fucking happy. I can't tell you how happy I am.
You going?
Yeah, hell yeah, man.
All right.
It's a little, but I'm kind of thinking about it, right? Go, but then like chaos might break out.
Maybe after.
I got to go to my friend's house to where like you're watching.
Yeah. Well,
away from all the madness, because I know 100% there's gonna be madness. I mean, look what happened. Like the stats came out about so many people getting hurt and shot and stabbed. I mean, like that. By the way, those are not Knicks fans. I'm telling you right now, those are not Knicks fans. Like anybody that was doing any crazy shit, they're not Knicks fans. They saw an opportunity to go ahead and do some dumb shit. They're not New York Knicks fans. Like when we had the parade for the Rangers and the Giants, like you didn't see none of this shit happening. Like nothing was being destroyed. Now, good luck. You wanted a Democrat socialist in office. Mm-hmm. God bless you guys. He did nothing. Less police, right? Okay.
Yep.
Destroyed the city, I guess. I didn't like how people, at the end of the day, like we all support the teams that we want to support. Some people happen to live in New York and they're big. I had friends that were big Bulls fans because they love Jordan.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean like I punched them in the face. So like seeing San Antonio fans in New York getting stomped on, one got put into a coma, by the way.
Yes.
That wasn't cool, man. What is that about? Like, we're not a gang. What's happening here? And San Antonio, I saw what they did on their side. I mean, you can't go ahead and say what the fuck are they doing, because those fans started beating up Knicks fans.
Yeah, it's shitty. I think
that's not a representation of is that a representation of the NBA? No. That a representation of the two teams? No. Like, yeah, they're battling for the championship. This is not it, man. Celebrate. That's it, man. We celebrate. But New York was a jungle, man. I'm telling you, New York was fucking crazy. Did you see it? Like New York, everything in New York was crazy. Like,
yep,
crazy. I mean, I made a joke yesterday that Ilya went ahead and if you've seen Ilya's face after the fight yesterday with Justin Gaethje,
yes,
I said that he basically got stomped out. He probably went to New York City with a Spurs jersey on and got stomped out because his face looked awful. I've never seen his face. I can't believe they let him go after the 3rd round. The doctor was calling it off, and they're like, no, he's going to continue. I don't even think I honestly do. Yo, listen, I got to say this, though. You want to talk shit about Conor McGregor, all these people. I've never seen Conor quit on a bench. This kid is never, I'm telling you right now, this kid is never going to recover. I'll say that right now, and I stand on it, Landy. His aura, his confidence his soul. Forget about all that. His soul was taken by Justin yesterday because he could not believe it. You know when when you're so confident and you've been knocking people out like nothing.
Yep.
And you hit somebody with all the hardest shots you got, with every single thing you got, you hit somebody like Justin Gaethje, and he keeps on going and moving forward on you. And he gets up after a liver shot. He's taking your best shots and he's getting up. It's like holy, like
demoralized him and then started beating on him.
I told somebody this like while we were chatting. I said, Justin's going to win, and there's nothing you can do to stop it, because I think this goes for sports teams and this goes for individual sports like MMA. You run into a person or a team that has your number. So, like, you can look at Conor, right? Conor goes into the ring against Nick Diaz. Diaz is a journeyman fighter, respectfully. And what happens? Conor wears out and loses via submission.
Yep.
Yeah, he comes back, and again, he has the same trouble. He wins, but he has trouble in that fight. There's always that one person, even in life, that one person that has your number, bro. Like, I'm talking about, I'm thinking back when if I fought, there was always one person that had my number that, like, no matter how much I tap them, doesn't matter. Like, they could take whatever I'm giving. And that's what I saw yesterday. Like, Justin is just like, yeah, Max Holloway knocked him out.
Mm.
But Ilya went ahead and knocked Max out. So you're kind of like, wait, hold on. So, like, this is a given, right? That Ilya walks in there and he knocks Justin out.
Yep.
But Justin's so big and he hits like a fucking tank that when he touched him, I'm telling you, when he touched him, he took his soul. Besides getting up and everything, when he touched him and he cut,
Did you see near
he
the
knew
end
it.
that fan video from ringside? You heard that hit?
Yeah.
Sounded like he cracked his freaking skull open. I was like,
We heard it. I
holy
heard it on
crap.
TV. Forget about the fan.
Yes.
view. When
Well, it was
he
just
hit
so
him with
clear.
that, you heard you heard a crack.
Yeah.
And Justin swings like he's not hitting you like this. Like, Justin's like, he has this.
That
He
overhand,
swings
right?
with
Whew.
the torque to hit like that. If you watch him, the way he hits, he uses his hips to rotate and swing in. Like, it's like Tyson. When Tyson used to hit, one thing about Tyson, he had so much torque coming at you because of the way his hips moved.
Yep.
Bro, I respect again, like, the guy gets into the ring and he puts his life on the line to fight. But, like, he ran into a fucking wall yesterday, and Justin wasn't going to lay out. Like, Justin, what I liked about his post-game conference, he said, you know, I wasn't going to go off my game. I was listening to my coaches, and he's in the best shape of his life and everything. And he's like, I didn't get too emotional because emotions kill you. You know, when he was hitting him he hit him with the liver shot and everything. Justin was like, yo, I just kept my composure, cool, got to the floor. That was a stupid move too. Him trying to wrestle Justin on the floor, he exhausted himself.
Yeah.
So, like, if he had anything left in the tank, it was gone. Bro, and he's a pretty boy, right? So when he gets cut, you notice, like, certain fighters, if they get cut, they're not doing this and looking at it. They're just moving forward. But when you're a pretty boy, like, and you bleed for the first time, Justin was right. He's a pretty boy, bled for the first time. He was shocked.
He got involuntary surgery on his face that entire round. Especially, man, that was at the before and after pictures. Obviously, everybody's sharing online. Wild how he had his face rearranged for him. That's like, he's gonna have to go get some plastic surgery after that. Especially,
He is out for the year. Like, he is maybe even more. I mean,
and then people asking right away to if, oh, you guys gonna do a match? He's I'm not gonna do a rematch. Was
I
this
think
not definitive enough?
Justin retires. I think if I'm Justin Gaethje right now, you've done everything in the sport. Khabib has said that Justin is one of the hardest hitters he's ever gone against. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
if I am Justin Gagey, you don't need money anymore. Like you're good.
Yeah, you've already been interim twice, and now you did unification, so
That's
you're
it.
the undisputed champ. I like it when guys do go out on top when they're pause, when they are
You probably
actually
do.
when they actually, hit that peak of the mountain, and then they're like, "You know what? I've done everything that I can possibly do. I've proven myself." Because then there's the guys that stay there too long, right? After their prime, when they've already made it, they've climbed the mountain, they made it to the top. Maybe they've even defended. And that might be the big thing. Maybe he wants to
Yeah.
go in for a defense and then does it. Um, but I just think like what a win. You're in front of the White House. The president's sitting right there. And in the White House lawn, you are fighting for a title unification. That is,
You're an
and then
American
to
too.
perform like that. Yes, yes.
So you're
And
an
you're an American.
American. You're fighting in front of the White House. You have an epic win like this. You're now the
Yep.
champ. You've been in this game for so many years. It erases any other. You know what the thing is? It erases everything else he's done. Like those 5 losses, they're all
Yeah.
erased. You know, like the Max Holloway thing, erased. Like you get to go out on top. Like don't. They're gonna probably offer him mad money to fight, 100%. But like,
Probably, yeah.
but you've done it. That's it. Like you just you beat you beat somebody who is 17-0, unstoppable. Okay, you beat them. There is no reason for you. Who are you gonna face now? Then who do you face? You're gonna go. There's no one to face unless you want to face what's his name? What's his name? Starts with an A. Armin. You want to face him to get that? Because that's the only person left. You don't need that. Or if he wants to go face all the people that beat him, like if he wants to have another match with Max or have another match with Charles, like no, I would retire. Say, man, I'm going out. I got the belt, the 250 belt. Like I'm good.
Right? That's look, I think that the run of the losses actually contributes and speaks more to the story than anything else, right? Because it's a roller coaster all the way to the top. And that's, it's a I think, when I like sports, like good sports stories, and that is
Yeah.
a good sports story, like
He
right there.
said that loss, that Max Holloway loss, taught him a lot.
Yeah.
Go out on top, man. You'll have so many endorsements. I'm sure they'll make you a commentator. You can have your own podcast. You'll make a lot of money. You go out as the great, like one of the greats in the sport, and you've knocked out. And by the way, the night went terrible for Dana White because his 2 champs, Alex and Ilya, got destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
But this actually worked in. I don't know if, of course, Dana's not going to feel this way, but to me, as a fan, this worked in his favor.
Oh yeah.
I'm actually. This was one of the most exciting events in UFC's history in a very long time, because I'm telling you, the fights, they weren't that exciting. Like,
Yeah, it was
okay, yeah,
getting
John
kind of
Jones went ahead and submitted the French guy.
yeah. It was
Okay,
kind of
big
it was
deal.
getting kind of boring. Yeah, for a
Yeah,
little bit.
Conor
And this
McGregor's not there, and Conor McGregor made the UFC. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Conor
I
McGregor and his showmanship and the way he can market and brand fights and stuff, he made the UFC exciting. But he's gone now. Now who do you have? Ilya tried to do the shit, but he don't speak like Conor. Conor's funny. Conor said,
yeah.
Conor went to Brazil and sat back and said, if this was the 16th century or some shit like this, my whole family be riding out here paraphrasing on horseback and shit. Connor was nuts.
Connor's nuts. That dude was nuts, yeah.
Absolutely fucking nuts.
And now he might be,
Yeah,
he might be entering politics in a big way.
well, he's fighting Max Holloway July 11th, I believe. So
Yeah.
we shall. I think Connor he should have retired. I'm a big Connor fan. Like I think Connor should have retired. You're not
Yeah.
going to get prime Connor back, right? That Connor, that the hungry Connor who was broke. That's the problem. When you watch Connor in his prime, he's different. He talks different. Like obviously he's not doing like whatever, right? Like he's just a different person. And then I think after the Floyd Mayweather fight, he got lost. I really believe after that, making that $100 million and stuff like that, he definitely, the fame and all this shit went to his head. And he never will be the same, because at the end of the day, he's older. I don't want to say that he at 37 years old, like he's like going into a nursing home, but I'm just saying he's older. These athletes are better than they were 10 years ago, right? They're younger, they're hungry, just like he was. I don't know, man. I don't know. But he must love the fight game so much that even with all the money that he has what, 200, $300 million in the bank? If you have that, listen, let me tell you something right now, man. Love something or not, something like this sport where you get brain damage. If you have $300 million in your bank account, bro, you retire. Okay, become a commentator. Train somebody. But like going back into the ring, you must have a passion to go ahead and just, I think with Connor, it's ego. Because like he wants people to remember his name.
I agree with that. Yeah.
He wants to be the talk of the town.
But
I
he
think that's what he
also,
misses.
for as much shit talk as much of a shit talker as Connor was, he always respected the sport itself. Even though I know there was controversies here and there with specific individuals, but the sport of fighting in general, like it defined him, obviously, but his love of the game is like none other. And I think, I think that part of it is ego coming back, but another part is just the love of the game. You
Yeah.
got to get in there to feel something, right?
Yeah.
It's like,
I'd rather feel somebody massaging my back than feeling somebody hitting me in my jaw, bro.
different
I'm
worlds,
just
brother. Different
saying,
worlds.
bro. Like, that's real talk, man. Landy, you are on Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So Mondays and Wednesdays, it's 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then it's 8 p.m. on Fridays. Am I right?
Yeah, 8 p.m. on Fridays now, Eastern Standard Time, and bringing people on. A lot of analysts and traders that I really respect. And this past Friday, I had on Bits of Wealth again, and Ash, who a lot of people don't know, but is a brilliant analyst and trader. Um, and then Ryan, a friend of mine who's learning to get into the charts. He's more of a fundamentals guy. He's coming from, he's been in the crypto game for quite a long time actually, but
Yeah.
more of a stock trader guy. And he's been learning to Bits actually challenged a bunch of people. Like, if you want to level your game up this year, learn a little bit of technical analysis, because even if you are having success, it can help you refine. And Ryan took that to heart, and he's been learning it and then using it to define a lot and catch a lot of like absolute gems in the stock market. So he was able to make it on. Unfortunately, there's stream issues that Friday, and like people were dropping and coming back. So, but I think we had a good show. It's more about me highlighting some of these other guys who I respect a lot to differentiate and draw comparisons to the way that I view the markets. And often, what we end up pointing out is that although we have very different styles in terms of the way that we look at the technicals and the fundamentals, we often arrive at similar conclusions about where things have the potential to head to the upside and downside and opportunities that are presenting themselves. So I think, we were the squeaky wheels often at the highs. Some have been squeaky wheels here at the local lows, and we'll see what that turns out to become over time. And I just really think that it's a good dichotomy to kind of split up from what people typically see Monday, Wednesday, Friday, where it's just me, showing what I'm looking at and then checking in on what I've been looking at, what the progress is in terms of that. Um, they have different skill sets that I do not possess and a different viewpoint to present about what's going on in markets in general, in particular Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, but even in stock market. So I think it's fun. I've been having fun. Like, and of course, the stream this past Friday, David, went extremely long because myself and these guys, after getting through the bulk of what our views were on the market as it currently stands, went into full nerd mode. So we nerded out a bit. But yeah, this evening, 9 p.m. Eastern, I'll have the video out. But at 8 p.m. Eastern, I will be joining Rob to have a robust conversation about politics, which I'm sure will
Rob is excited
definitely.
right now. He's putting on his thong. He's getting ready.
He's getting his camera set up on the floppiest gimbal he can possibly
He'll make
find.
sure that he syncs OnlyFans in with the debate tonight.
So that should be fun. But yeah,
But go New York, go New York, go. It's obviously
hell
a
yeah,
pleasure to
brother.
have you on. And,
Thank you, David.
Guys, give Landy a follow. That's really, you know what time it is. And go New York, go New York, go. That's right. Go.
Hell yeah. Champs, baby. Thanks, David.
Go.
Appreciate you, brother.
Shout out to Landy, man. Tune into Landy. Landy is always bringing it. All right, always bringing it. We'll be right back after this commercial break, and we'll wrap it up with the quote of the day. That's right. Justin took his soul last night. I'm just telling you that right now. I'm on Threads, by the way. I'm on Threads, obviously Meta's application. And these people are just, man, they're crazy. I tell you, they are absolutely wild. But I believe the soul was taken yesterday. So the soul was taken yesterday, 100%. They took the soul. By the way, again, I'm not believing anything I'm really not believing anything that's happening, man. I don't believe. I will not believe. I will only believe that something is signed when I see it signed. That's it. I'm not gonna believe that shit. I'm being serious. Not gonna believe. Tell us. Anyway, we'll be right back.
What first got you excited about blockchains? Think about it. Oh wait. I bet it wasn't multi-million-dollar hacks, exposed data, or finding somewhere safe to store your seed phrase. Was it? Maybe it was the idea of decentralizing a broken financial system. Maybe it was imagining a world where people own their own data and get to sharing the value it creates. Or maybe it was the promise of a fundamentally better way of connecting, communicating, and transacting. The next phase of the internet that empowers us instead of exploiting us. So why hasn't that happened yet? Why are we still living with the same broken system that blockchains promise to fix? It's because blockchains can't keep a secret. Enabling open, transparent systems was only the first half of the challenge. For blockchains to really change the world, they also have to be able to protect our sensitive data when it matters. And that's why we built Midnight, to bring down the final barrier to mass adoption and unlock the full potential of the decentralized web. Let's build the internet we deserve. Together.
Ladies and gentlemen, we all know this in crypto. Ownership matters. That's why Cake Wallet. Cake Wallet gives you full control of your digital assets, all in one easy-to-use application. You can store Bitcoin, Litecoin, Zcash, Monero, and many more with just one secure backup. Swap between coins in seconds. No copying addresses, no complicated steps, and even includes Bitcoin Lightning for faster payments. And with Cake Wallet built in, you can use crypto in real life through debit cards or gift cards. Simple, secure, self-custody. Download Cake Wallet and take control of your crypto. I was reading something. This is coming out here. Ilya came out with a statement. He said, "Justin, congratulations. You said you'd leave your mark on my face." I hope this is real too. Hold on. Let me make sure this is real. Okay, this is real. Justin, congratulations. You said you'd leave your mark on my face, and you did. You took the sight from my right eye in the first round, and by the end of the second, from my left too. No excuses. I had one of the best camps of my life. I came in sharp, prepared, and ready. Last night was your night. That's the nature of this game. Glory and pain walk side by side. I'll heal, I'll rest, and I'll return stronger, wiser, and far more dangerous. And trust me, this story between us is far from over. We will have our rematch. Bro. There is no rematch. When somebody sends you to the hospital and makes you quit, okay, you quit. There is no rematch. It's done. You're not going to beat him. You might have a chance to beat anybody else in the UFC. 100%. In your skill set, it's there. You're an elite athlete. No doubt about it. Nobody could take that away from you. You are elite. But you ran into a monster yesterday that knows how to beat you and will beat you 9 out of 10 times. You are not fucking with Justin. Especially when Justin is prepared like he was yesterday. You're not fucking going to beat him. You can't take his punches. You're going to gas out. Because that's how you're built. You will, if he takes you into the second, third round, you're done. You're cooked. Okay, respectfully. Justin can go 5 rounds. You can't. That's why you lost yesterday. You just said it yourself. You had a great camp. You were super prepared. And you couldn't beat Justin at your peak. What he did to you yesterday was take your soul. That's it. I'd move back to the featherweight division. That's where you'll have success. There won't be anybody that can touch you because your power is there. You can't stand with these people. You're not going to stand with Justin. You definitely won't stand with Justin. If I'm you, I avoid Justin. Now a fighter, as somebody who's competitive, I get it. Somebody who's competitive is going to say, Dave, what are you fucking talking about? If you're competitive, you're going back. Good, okay. Go back and try to fight Justin if he takes you on. But the same result is going to happen. If he hits you, you're going to open up. If he hits you, you're going to open up. And he knows how to beat you now. He knows how to beat you. You're not going to show him anything different. He knows what your weakness is. And that is him hitting you dead square in your face. And you not liking his power. He's not going to lose. That's one thing that doesn't go. The power doesn't go. Justin's power will be there. And when it meets you, it's over. To sit there, to be sent to the hospital, to quit in your chair, and then to say, like, bro, you really got a concussion, bro. You got your head wrung. As fighters, obviously, you go back into the arena. It's understandable. You go back into the arena and you continue to you fight again. I respect that. But man, like, Justin is somebody you should stay away from. Justin is absolutely, this is not, you know, when I was talking yesterday with a bunch of friends and comparing this to, like, you know, Conor versus Diaz, Conor didn't suffer these injuries when he fought Diaz. It's just that Diaz was the guy who he ran into who basically sent him onto this losing streak. This is why I said in sports, there's a team, there's a player, or in individual sports, there is an athlete that has your fucking name. And they will beat you every single time because they know how to go up against you, and they can. Justin, no, like for instance, you're powerful, right? Ilya's powerful with his punches. Like, he hits like nobody else. Like, those are punches. You heard them. You saw the way he was connecting them, the torque and the power going into. Justin took those punches. Justin took them and got up. That's a scary thing. When somebody is taking everything you got. He took your soul yesterday. You need to figure out, this is how you need to do it. You need to learn from it, others within the fight game. Take 2 or 3 fights before you run and ask for a rematch with Justin. Take 2 or 3 fights. And who knows, Justin might retire in general. But like, take 2 or 3 fights to get the game back, or get your confidence back. You're gonna go straight back at Justin after he did that to you in your face? After he made you here, the thing is, if it went 5 rounds, hear me out. If it goes 5 rounds and you don't quit and like you lose, then I can understand the rematch. When Justin makes you quit, he made your soul quit. He made you quit on the bench because you could not take it no more. Your body broke. He broke you. There's a difference to, getting, let's say, even knocked out. If he would have knocked you out, then obviously rematch, right? If he KOs you, forget about technical KO, he just KOs you. Or you go the distance, then you're like, okay, let's run this back. When you're sitting on the bench and you don't go out there, and we all watched this. He took, and I'm not trying to rage bait either. I just want to make this very clear. I'm not rage baiting at all. I'm not saying this to go ahead and, if this gets clipped up where like, oh, like he's just, no. I'm telling you, he took your soul, bro. Like he broke you. And somebody like you who's cocky and arrogant, has that ego, you were broken yesterday because you put 18-0 into your bio. You you treated this like it was going to be a walk in the park, and it wasn't. And that defeat will always linger. That defeat will always linger. And in the back of your mind, this is why I say, like, you need some tune-up matches before you go at Justin, because you got to figure out, like, if you can get back into that ring and throw hands without having any hesitation. Because now you're going to have hesitation. You're going to question yourself in the ring. This is where this is where I look at yesterday and I'm like, he mentally broke you. This the game's all about, besides the power and everything, it's all mental. And if you don't have your confidence, you're cooked. You're absolutely fucking cooked. Now you can throw this away and say, yo, he's never fought in the MMA. I get that. You're right. But at the end of the day, man, like, I saw your soul leave you. And so did everybody else watching the event. Like, that was a fight where, like, when he cracked you in your face and everybody heard the crack in your face after getting hit with that shot. Even when you were tapping yourself like this, Justin didn't have to say this, but even when you were checking yourself every second, you knew your face was broken, but not just because of the punch, but you just, anyway, I'm rambling. I feel bad because, like, and I hope he's okay, but that happens to like, if you watch the UFC, it happen, or boxing in general. Like, look at Tyson. Tyson is one of my favorite fighters of all time. Tyson goes up against Holyfield, and no matter what Tyson is doing, like, he cannot put Holyfield down because Holyfield is able to absorb all these shots that Tyson is throwing. And like I'm saying, there's one person that you run into that they can absorb your energy. And there is nothing you can do about it. There is zero that you can do about it. Nothing. It's just, look at the Tyson Holyfield fight. It's a perfect example. Tell me Tyson didn't hit Holyfield with everything he had. If Tyson would have applied the peekaboo style and still had, his trainers and not the ones that Don King gave him, and they switched up, could have, should have, would have. At the end of the day, Tyson still has that power, and he hit Holyfield with every shot. And what happened? Holyfield won. And yeah, there's things to say about Holyfield in the match where Holyfield headbutted Tyson to the point where Tyson lost it. I get that also, but again, just look at the fight game, man. So, like, even Dustin Poirier with Conor. Was Conor training like the old Conor? You can go ahead and question that also. But Dustin, the last two matches had McGregor's number. That's it. Bottom line. Anyway, I want to thank everybody for tuning in to the breakdown. The Knicks are the world champions. Or I should say the NBA champions. Parade is on Thursday. Great fight night last night, UFC 250. Shout out to Dana White and the UFC. Finally, an event that lived up to the billing, man. Finally. It was a great event to watch. And crypto is moving upwards. Again, I've said this for months now. I'm not getting excited. I am absolutely not getting excited. It's nice to see, but this is an opportunity to build your foundation now. As I said earlier, build your foundation. You can use tools like gmarkets.io. You can go to gmarkets.io, and you can have all the tools available for you from an educational standpoint to win. So this is a time to go ahead and figure out, hey, is my portfolio good coming into the next run, or is it straight up ass? These are the questions you need to ask yourself. And if you're not asking these questions, then you're positioned for ass, and not the type of ass that I'm talking about. Anyway, I want to thank my sponsors. I want to thank everybody who tunes in. We'll be back tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hopefully, I'm approved to live stream on TikTok as well. I'm on Threads, so if anybody wants to follow me, it's at David Gockstein on Threads. You can tune into me on there as well. And on that note, I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day and an even better tomorrow, as my boy Akil Patterson would say. I'm out.